Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Boston, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. And available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And then the little notify bell next to it to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications.
Yeah.
We're also on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We have a whole variety of reward tiers over there, man. We got some bonus episodes yesterday for the $1 patrons and the YouTube channel members. We had a bonus episode that you can access right now where we talked about the latest two additions to the Crown Jewel match lineup.
Oh, gosh.
Tag team turmoil to determine World Cup winner and best tag team in the world. And then also Mansoor is back in action.
Taking on Cesaro.
It's Saudi Arabia season, so you know Mansoor is getting his game face on.
In the midst of a push.
Exactly. Wonder who's going to win that match. Probably Mansoor.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Anyways. Raw happened last night.
Yeah.
It was the last night of the draft. You don't seem too geeked about it. I thought overall it was a decent show.
Yeah, it was middle of the road.
You thought so? I thought there were some really good matches on. Hold on.
There was good matches. There was good matches.
Yeah.
But then
Charlotte versus Becky, I thought was really good.
Yeah, that was good. There was good matches. I don't know. Just didn't feel like another show where a whole lot happened storyline-wise.
There's a new we got new tag team champions.
We talked about the finish of the show briefly before camera started rolling.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It was silly. I mean, at the end of the day, though, it's not going to go anywhere. Why does Seth constantly have two matches? It seems like he's always having two matches.
Okay, so yeah, I guess we can hop into that real quick. This whole
and why do they imagine
So we know that the WWE Vince just does things for the pop for the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they would have put him in that Hogan match. And then did that Hell in a Cell finish, so he didn't lose the Universal Championship. With the foresight of then having him also in a Falls Count Anywhere match at Crown Jewel on the same show. That Hogan, Team Hogan versus Team Flair match is supposed to be goofy and lighthearted. Nobody's really taking it serious. It's a 10-man tag match, and it's a big goof. Seth, especially after last night, Seth burning down the Firefly Funhouse, which I thought was a cool segment.
It was silly, but it was all right.
Well, I mean, Firefly Funhouse is silly. You were dealing with puppets.
Yeah, I know, but there's something. Anyways, there's more Seth that made it silly.
Well, Seth is silly. Yeah, you're right. Seth is very silly. His demeanor from here on out should be super intense.
Yeah,
on edge.
Maybe he'll get kicked off Team Hogan because he's taking things too seriously.
Should be.
That's what it should be.
It should be something like that. He should not be in that match.
Here's a beef that I have. I feel like, so Seth shows up, he burns down the Funhouse set. And then next week on Raw, maybe that's when you start doing the process of making this Falls Count Anywhere match. You just announce it. It just happens. Pull it out of the ether and decide, all right, we're going to throw this on the card. I understand giving the finish to Hell in a Cell.
Did that card, did the ether card, did that show up before or after that showed up before?
That Firefly Funhouse, yeah. Why? Why do they just... All right, well, we're going to have this match, so let's announce it rather than actually, build to motivate it. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing.
It's frustrating.
So, a lot of people in wrestling Twitter, they'll just follow me out here, okay? They'll nitpick Raw, when Raw goes blatantly against their own logic, or SmackDown, whatever, WWE. The idea that they set up the draft so that when... at the end of the night, at the end of SmackDown, for example, that draft pool, whoever isn't there
free agents,
is a free agent. And then on Twitter, those free agents are drafted. They use the word drafted and picked amongst Raw and SmackDown. And it's you're just, and so to a degree, I think, but seemingly everything in WWE, none of it follows its own logic.
There's no internal consistency. No.
There isn't.
No,
there really isn't.
They have one job, is to build a self-contained world where you can suspend your disbelief and believe these people everybody knows it's
Scripted entertainment.
Scripted entertainment, choreographed fighting.
Yeah.
But their job is to create a world where once you get into that world, you can believe, okay, these people really dislike each other. These people are really fighting. There's reasons for them to fight. And they constantly violate the rules they set up for their own little self-contained world. There's zero reason to buy into anything they do.
What do you? Hey, let me ask you
because
something.
it's all in the end, it's all meaningless.
If Vince McMahon decided not to be a wrestling guy, if he didn't get into the wrestling business, if his dad wasn't, instead his dad was a movie mogul, and Vince McMahon Jr. became a movie
he'd be Michael Bay.
What he doesn't, but Michael Bay even follows like certain lines of logic. He's just aesthetically a really sloppy filmmaker.
Well, I mean that's true, but then no, I mean, based on movies of his I've seen, he doesn't really follow any sort of logic.
Vince would be.
He follows whims.
Vince would be more like because it'd be like scene to scene.
That's kind of like that Michael Bay movie. So
it'd all be like the third act. Mm-hmm. There's never it's always just payoff.
Yeah. There's no setup. I know.
There's no setup.
I know.
I don't know, man. It's like I'm trying. My thing these days, I just try to break down what I liked and what I didn't like. I thought that as a showcase, because last night it was draft night, but it was also a showcase for what you're going to get on Raw. They had all these matches with people that are either going to be spotlighted against like a jobber, like in the case of what was it? Who fought Eric Young?
Alistair Black.
Alistair Black. And then like Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander. I thought that was fun. Ricochet versus Shelton Benjamin. I thought was cool. So like I thought there was a lot, and the Street Profits finally are getting into a thing. So that's cool. War Raiders won the tag titles. That was cool. Andrade versus Ali. So there's like a lot of cool stuff happening. I hope that next week we actually start getting into some like stories.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like any episode of Raw, you can pick out good matches, interesting things that happen, but at the end of the day, if the stories aren't involving, it's kind of like I'm not gonna get that vested in it.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I dug the Firefly Funhouse thing, and it's funny because you start to get into the idea of, well, what was Firefly Funhouse and how did Seth find it?
I know.
And some people are saying that it's, I
don't think it should just be a set backstage. You know what I mean?
See, I'm fine with that. I like that over, because that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to have camera people inside Bray's mind. Like, physically, where do you think it's supposed to be?
In my mind, it was like instead of rebuilding the Wyatt compound, he bought like a little former production studio. Like remember they shot Bozo the Clown or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's where it is a physical space, but it's also representative of his mental state of mind.
Yeah. He built he's like Howard Hughes.
Yes.
He built a place, or Citizen Kane.
Yes.
Shangri-La.
Kind of, but it's just a little.
It's just
a little TV studio where he has a cot.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And a sink where he washes his face.
Yeah.
And that's
in any event, Seth found him.
Apparently it's just somewhere in the arena because he didn't have to go very far.
Well, it did. It did take him 3 hours to get there. Because at the beginning of the show, he said, I'm going fiend hunting, and it took him 3 hours. So wherever it is.
Why not do I was fully expecting little backstage bits where he's going through the bowels of the arena going fiend hunting. We didn't get that.
I know.
He just said he's going to do it, and then he did it. We didn't see any of his investigative skills.
Yeah.
Because that would have been interesting. See, I would have bought into it more if he had gone around the arena asking people, where's the fiend at, and they don't know. He lumps them up a little bit. Play some
Tell
bad
me
cop.
where he is.
Some bad cop Seth.
Yeah.
Because then it's their story there,
Yeah. So I don't know. My main issue, if Bray had been drafted to Raw, I'd have been like, okay, well that's like, I don't know about the Crown Jewel match. That's sort of silly. Because Seth is totally gonna win this clean, right? That's gonna happen.
I don't know. Did
you see the blow off?
Did you see? Not only was he getting booed when he burned down the Funhouse,
he was getting murdered. Yeah,
he was getting apparently
the dark match.
Yeah, he was getting booed out of the building basically.
There's video of the dark match, the finish of the dark match, and man, that place.
Are they gonna do this and not only ruin Bray again potentially, but completely destroy Seth's credibility as the top face?
So I think everything has been done that you just said, except for Bray ruined completely. Although him going to SmackDown is a bad idea.
Oh, I know, but if he had Crown Jewel, because he's going to SmackDown, he takes a clean loss to Seth.
Yeah, I know.
Done.
Remember, and here's the thing, on SmackDown, he ain't going to beat Brock.
No.
Nobody's going to beat Brock for that title.
Not for a while.
Not for a while. I ain't going to beat Bray.
Nope.
And it's like, then here's the thing, man. This is a bummer, by the way. This is a total bummer. You just end up back to where you were with Bray.
Exactly.
He takes clean losses against high-profile opponents.
He talks a lot of crap.
He ain't going to lose to Roman. He ain't going to lose to Brock. Who else is on SmackDown?
No, I mean, he ain't going to win Brock. He's going to beat Brock, you mean.
He's not going to. I'm sorry. He's not going to beat Brock. He's not going to beat Roman. Who else is there? Kofi. Maybe he can do something with Kofi. Probably ain't going to beat Kofi.
Probably not. So, I know.
Square one.
It is.
Yeah.
You invested all this time in building up Bray, again, into a really interesting character.
Yeah.
Tons of interesting story ideas. I was even in the finish of the Hell in a Cell because I thought it could lead somewhere.
ALK has a point here. He says Bray is nowhere near buried. He's getting huge cheers. And I mean, maybe what we could have seen last night. I wonder if they'd ever roll with it. Is like acknowledging that Seth is getting all these boos and do a double turn with it.
Yeah.
Have Seth just go, because last night he was like, I'm okay with going where I went. I had to go there. Maybe you just roll with a guy who goes too far and then he starts to love it.
Well, the problem, I don't know, maybe. But then
we always come up with these cool ideas.
But then if he does that completely at the expense of the Fiend and a clean loss for Bray, and then he gets sent off to SmackDown, then you're not. No.
Yeah.
Seth can get the wrong kind of heat.
At least people were cool. Like people were cool with Randy Orton burning down Bray's house, and they would still cheer Randy Orton. Nobody wants to do that for Seth.
Yeah.
He burns down the Firefly. People like Firefly Funhouse.
I know. I know.
Joe Cronin's in the house.
Hey, Joe.
$10 super chat. What's up, Joe? He says Raw was 1 out of 10 pile of garbage trash. We are all dumber for having watched it. Please end me, Joe. Are you asking for like some sort of a euthanasia type thing? He says, please end me. I'm not Dr. Kevorkian.
Let's get a couple more super chats.
Is that guy still around, run around?
I don't think so. I think he passed away. Dom L says, sad to see SmackDown Live come to an end, but long live Morgan Knight Raw. Of course, Liv got drafted over to Raw.
Yeah, she keeps on tweeting stuff.
Oh yeah,
like her avatar is just black. And then she tweets like confusing stuff. She's like the wrestling equivalent to like the House of Leaves book.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good book.
Which actually would be really cool.
That'd
now
be
that
really
I think
cool
about
book.
it, that's a cool gimmick.
That would be a cool gimmick.
That's a really cool gimmick.
Rich Nason says, Wyatt sucks. Well, we disagree there, Rich. Thumbnail should be the same as Raw thread.
Raw what?
Thread. I don't get that. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing.
All right, anyways. Let's get into Raw, the nuts and bolts of it. Show kicked off with Becky Lynch.
Oh, okay.
What?
So last night, there was that moment, man, the Bobby Lashley Lana moment.
Yeah.
And of course, my wife and daughter
were
in the
I saw
room.
that picture you put, yeah.
So she turned to me, and I said, just give me your reaction. I took a picture of it. I put it up, and it's got like 1,200 likes now. And it was every GD time on Raw, man. There has to be that one moment where I'm like, man, if my wife is here, I'd have to freaking explain this to her.
Yeah, and that
I'd
was
have
that
to
moment.
Explain how embarrassing it is that I watch wrestling right now.
And that was
Lana Bobby Lashley. Because she's sitting there, my child is sitting there, and which is fine. It's just he was giving her a massage. It's not like there was actual penetration happening. But Lacey gives that response. And I was like, yeah, there you go. That's Raw in a nutshell.
Yeah.
For you. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Anyway, show kicks off with Becky Lynch coming down the ring, dropping a promo. Of course, she was originally scheduled to face Sasha Banks last night. And so she says, Sasha's still hurt. She can't wrestle. So they're making me take on... She had a good line about Sasha being the one that keeps running away from her. Mm-hmm. But she has to take on Charlotte, the woman that she can't get away from.
Yeah.
That was good. But she says, regardless, she's ready for a war. She's ready to rip someone's arm off. Charlotte comes down, interrupts. And she says, maybe someday this nightmare will... She says, maybe this nightmare will end... never end, sorry, and she'll get drafted to Raw.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Hell of a bit of foreshadowing there. Not really, though, because everybody assumes she'd be drafted to Raw based on the leaked draft pool.
I can give effort points for that one, though. A little foreshadowing. I'm fine with that. That's good. Totally.
And then she says, but I'm not selfish. I don't even want to fight you. And I just remembered, like 4 weeks ago, she called herself the most selfish. She goes, I'm the most selfish wrestler on this roster.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, she's, she was playing up.
Yeah, no.
Everybody knew that she was just sort of trolling Becky.
Yeah, no, it was funny to me. Anyway, she says she doesn't want to fight Becky. She wants to be her friend. And walks up to her and then attacks her.
Yeah,
they brawl. Security comes down. Refs come down. Producers maybe come down. Break it up. We go to commercial.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty strong way to start.
Well, I mean, these two women, they have great chemistry.
It's like Cena, Randy Orton.
Well, I find
for better or worse.
I find Becky and Charlotte's work together more enjoyable than Cena and Randy Orton.
I agree, but I'm not sure how much I was actually watching back then. So maybe I would have been really into it. I don't know.
I kind of feel like Orton's kind of occupied the same space roughly.
Yeah. So anyways, come back from commercial. Oh, no, we're going to do that after this, after a little bit of business. Before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Untuck It. Larson, I know you're like me and don't like to tuck in your shirts.
Yeah, I don't.
But have you ever thought and wondered why traditional button-up shirts seem so long and baggy? It's because they were never meant to be worn untucked.
Really?
Yes.
Well, thankfully, Untuck It is the brand we've been looking for, Steve. Untuck It shirts were specifically designed to be worn untucked and provide a modern solution to an old problem with no tucking or tailoring required.
Untuck It offers more than 50 fit combinations, so no matter your size, your shape, they've got a shirt that's the perfect untucked length.
I know I've had trouble finding button-up shirts that fit well. They're either too baggy and too long or too short and too tight. But Untuck It has completely changed how I buy my shirts in the online ordering process. Man, super easy. And the selection of shirts, vast. Darn impressive, I dare say.
And right now, friendos can try out Untuck It at one of their 50 stores or go to untuckit.com to get started. You can save 20% on your first order by using promo code GIR at checkout. And Untuck It even offers free shipping and returns on all orders in the U.S.
Again, that's untuckit.com and use promo code GIR to get 20% off your first order. Thanks to Untuck It for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going in Raw by going to untuckit.com and using promo code GIR.
So we're back from commercial, and we get Charlotte versus Becky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
they always deliver,
they've
man.
They've got really great chemistry, man.
Always deliver.
Make things very physical. It was good stuff.
Yeah, Charlotte, she was in control early. Pretty much dominating the match. At one point, Becky matrixes, stuff to say, out of a pinfall. Hits drop kick. Doesn't matter. Charlotte gets back in control. And then later on, Becky blocks a shot into the turnbuckle. Charlotte trying to ram her head into it. Kicks Charlotte out of the ring. Goes for a baseball slide. Charlotte evades. Sends Becky into the ring post. Before the first commercial, or actually even after the first commercial break within the match, every time Becky tried to mount some sense of comeback, Charlotte would regain control. However, Becky turns the tables, culminating in a missile drop kick, hits a 2. She goes for another drop kick later on. Charlotte catches, puts Becky into Boston Crab. Becky almost escapes, and then Charlotte transitions into a figure 8 attempt. Becky kicks her out of the ring. Then she hits the baseball slide, forearm off the apron. Back in the ring later on, Becky goes for a second rope forearm. She misses. Charlotte hits natural selection, but only gets a 2. Remember when that was a finisher?
Yeah.
And then Charlotte goes up top.
Well, for some people, it still can.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Charlotte goes up top, I guess, and probably go for a moonsault. Becky pulls her off. Becky goes for a disarmer. Charlotte kicks her into the turnbuckle, follows with a huge boot, gets a 2 count, and then Charlotte goes for a figure 8. Becky kicks her into the turnbuckle, rolls her up, only gets a 2. Becky hits the second rope leg drop, gets a 2. She goes for a disarmer again. Charlotte reverses it into a spear, only gets a 2 count, and she's like selling the idea that she's super upset that she can't put Becky away, hit natural selection, boots, a spear.
Everybody's burying finishers these days, man.
Seeming like it.
Yeah.
It's like WWE becoming PWG suddenly. So she's really selling it, and then Becky gets up, rolls her up, surprise roll up for the win.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought Charlotte's reaction to the roll up, you got me. I thought that was good stuff. I was okay with that.
It was good. It was good. After that, we had a Seth Rollins.
Hey, so I don't know if you mentioned this in here, so I'll just bring. We'll mention the draft panel thing.
All right.
Speculation on the big trade. Seth Rollins interview. He says, again, he's not exactly beside himself. He's not exactly worried about this, but he says, I'm not proud of what I did at Hell in a Cell, but I'm not ashamed of it either. He's not ashamed of attempted murder, Larson.
He's not proud to be an attempted murderer either.
He did what he had to do. In fact, he was on Twitter when somebody mentioned, it's going to end up in a crap DQ finish, and he says, the ref made the right call.
Oh, I mean, that was fine, but him saying, I'm sure Foley would have liked someone to come in to stop the match back in 1998.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah. Like Seth saying, no, the ref stepped in because the other person wasn't getting up. It could have gone bad real quick. Ref made his call. That was that. Don't pile on or try to pile on and say, wow, I'm sure Foley really wished someone had come in and stopped that match in 98. Might have Foley might have had a longer career because of it.
Sir, I knew Mick Foley. Mick Foley was a friend of mine. You are no Mick Foley. Remember who said that about John Kennedy? Was it Lloyd Benson that said that?
Yeah.
I knew John Kennedy.
Yeah.
You are no John. Oof.
Said it Dan Quayle. So I think Dan Quayle because at the time he was young and
Understatement of the decade.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, obscure political stuff.
Yes. Anyways, he says, Seth says, maybe I'm going about this all wrong. I'm trying to push forward, and the Fiend keeps pulling me back. Mm-hmm. So tonight, I'm going to go a Fiend hunting.
He's like, I'm not sure why I'm always on the defensive. I'm going to go Fiend hunting. Nobody thinks you're cool, Seth.
No. Anyways, next we get some Mad Money. Jim Cramer talking WWE Superstars.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. This one was fine.
Jim Cramer's funny.
Like, he could tell the Premier League analysts that happened later on. They're just like, all right, let's just do some talking points and we'll put
Jim
some
Cramer
together.
had his buttons loaded up and everything.
Oh, I know. His was fine.
I forgot that stuff.
The Premier League analysts, though, they were talking about soccer chants.
Yeah.
Kind of in relation to WB chants, but not really. And then there was like one non sequitur sentence to end it, and it was over.
Who won? Who won the battle of network celebrity commentators, Fox or USA? It's got to be Fox, right? I think USA was sort of thrown off by how eager Fox was to do all this stuff.
I know. And it felt like, for the most part, like I thought the college football one was well done. Brady Quinn making a crack about waiting in the green room during the draft. That was fine.
Yeah.
The NFL on Fox panel talked about their favorite wrestlers. That was all fine. Mm-hmm. As far as the USA commentators or personalities, Jim Cramer's the only one that really
there was a lot of gusto there,
all.
man.
Yeah, no.
Something tells me he's a WWE guy. He probably jumped at it.
I'm sure he appreciates the spectacle of WWE program.
Dude, nothing will beat Troy Aikman calling out the pile driver.
Yeah, I wasn't bad either.
That's really good. And then
Michael Che and Colin Jost last night.
They were funny. I liked them. And a lot of people crap on them because all they know about them is their bit on WrestleMania or whatever. But I like them. I think they're funny.
Oh, they have great chemistry on Weekend Update.
They really do. Yeah, they're terrific. Smart guys. So after that, Stephanie announces the first round of picks.
Yeah.
Raw selects, not a big surprise, Seth Rollins.
Oh, we should mention that since Becky beat Charlotte, Raw got first pick again. But based on how the picks break down,
Wouldn't
3-2, Raw has to have the first pick pretty much.
Yeah, I know, unless they were to do Raw,
SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, or something like that.
Yeah, but that'd be silly.
It would be silly.
With the first pick of the night, Raw selected the Universal Champion Seth Rollins. Not a surprise, SmackDown took their champion Brock Lesnar. After that, Raw selected Charlotte, big brand change there.
Yeah, she jumps brands.
Mm-hmm. SmackDown takes The New Day. Dio Madden was sad about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raw. Oh, by the way, man, Lawler was almost. I couldn't. I had the volume down, man.
It's bad.
It's God. It was so.
It's real bad.
There was a crack he made about Andrade. Is he related to somebody? I forget.
No, I just tune him out.
Yeah, dude. Every time I don't, I regret it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then Raw selects Andrade and Zelina Vega.
The whole group of them.
Yep. Charlotte's
group.
Zelina, Andrade, and then later on, Alistair Black.
Yeah, man. After that.
And then we go to the draft panel.
Mm-hmm. So Booker T on the draft panel said that there's going to be a blockbuster trade announced on The Bump tomorrow.
No, I thought it was on WWE Backstage. The first episode's tomorrow.
Oh, Backstage.
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And that's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, they're both on. Isn't The Bump on Wednesdays, too? I think The Bump is on Wednesdays, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I think it's today. Today Backstage is on. It's after the ALCS game.
Ooh.
It's today.
And that's on Fox Sports 1?
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Blockbuster trade, man. What's it going to be? Get Bray back on Raw to let's get some finality with this.
Trade Bray for Kevin Owens.
Yes, right? Somebody mentioned that in chat earlier.
Yeah, Bray for Kevin Owens.
That's what you got to do.
That's what I want to see. Kevin Owens needs to go back on SmackDown. I don't know what the hell they drafted him to Raw for. Doesn't make
Did
any
they
sense.
do this? Did they do this just to bring relevance to backstage for the first episode.
Maybe.
And to throw people off of that hilarious. I didn't see where's our notes on that one. Was Bray originally like in the breakdown?
It was an order.
It was an order. Was he slated to go to SmackDown via that order? Like,
I think
based
so.
on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
order? Was he?
Because like the first 2.5 rounds was verbatim how it was in order.
Maybe that was part of the plan. Also, before we move on, what do you think about? We talked about this off camera, so I know what you think, but they don't. Mike Kanellis tweeted out a fairly lengthy message yesterday, but boiled down to he has asked for his release.
He said he was tired of only wrestling one day a week. He thinks he has so much more to offer.
Yeah.
All true.
If I'm not mistaken, too, I think he has deleted all other tweets beyond that one.
I mean, everything he said is true. The only issue is he just signed a new contract.
In June.
A 5-year deal.
Which he cops to, which he says, yeah, I know, I just signed one.
So, I mean, back when he signed that deal in June, it wasn't like everything was roses.
So he says,
know,
his statement here says, I re-signed with the company back in June because I thought of what was best for my family, and maybe from a financial standpoint it was. But I quickly realized that bringing my work frustrations and misery home with me is not good for my family, and I no longer want my daughter to constantly see me come home defeated, sad, and angry. Buddy boy, you just signed a new contract in June. That is, wow. That's, they're probably not going to release him.
No.
But I hope he gets what he wants. I hope he does.
I
really like
I
Mike
so
Bennett.
I do too. And it's a bummer it has come to this for him because he's probably not going to get what he wants.
I do wonder this, and this is I'm usually never the person to say, oh, I wonder if it's a work. But he tweeted out so Leo Rush tweeted something about, I'm the best cruiserweight there is. I'm the champion or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Mike Bennett tweeted something kind of rude at him saying, yeah, you were gone for bad behavior and you came back and you had 2 matches while everybody else in the cruiserweight division was busting their butts, whatever. And then he deleted the tweet. And I was thinking, I was like, man, like that tweet seemed like it was something that they would do on Twitter as a work,
Yeah.
And maybe this whole, hey, I'm getting released thing, wouldn't
Or
it
I
be
wanna
cool
get
if they're
released,
like, hey, we're going to do some different stuff with you. Like we're doing the cuck angle for a second. We're not going to do that now.
Yeah.
What if they're going to do something cool? What if it's Paul Heyman? We're going to do something more interesting with you. I want my release angle.
Maybe.
I hope so, man.
I hope so.
I hope because
the situation where it's genuine, man, I just feel bad for the guy. He's probably just sitting at home for the next 5 years.
I know. I told you off camera. I said, you know what he needs to do? This is it. Look, you signed your life away to wrestling, to the WWE. You did that. Find a new hobby. You got a lot of money. Maybe take up investing or something fun, to do in your off hours.
Woodworking.
Start a YouTube channel. Does he like the game? Does he like to do the video games?
That's a terrible idea, man. Everybody's got
Review
a YouTube channel.
movies.
Everybody does that. He's got to find his own niche on YouTube.
Well, whatever he likes to do. I don't know what his thing is.
I don't know either. I don't know the man.
What if he really likes movies? What if he has a lot to offer?
How about this? Oh, gosh. The initials are terrible, though. Being the Kingdom. It's him. It's him. It's Matt Taven.
You can't have BTK.
I said the initials.
You can't do that. It's demonetized.
I said the initials are terrible, but something like that.
It's bind, torture, kill, man.
No, it's Being the Kingdom. You get him. You get Matt Taven. I don't know. Try to get Adam Cole on there too.
Yeah,
all the foreign members of the Kingdom.
Adam Cole is in the WWE. Sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
Oh no, but you got to find a different name, or you definitely keep the name. I don't know.
I'm not sure which one it is.
You can't do BTK. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Anyways, getting back to Raw. Being the Kingdom. That's good. Dude, we should tweet at him. Hey, $1 million idea for the miracle, Mike Bennett.
Being the Kingdom.
Being the Kingdom. Love it.
That'd be great. Anyways, next match, Andrade versus Mustafa Ali. Before the match, Zelina Vega had a promo saying Andrade wasn't drafted in the same round as everybody that was drafted before him. They were all drafted the same round as Andrade. Say that he is going to be the cornerstone of Raw, and he is the top name of that round of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on to beat Mustafa Ali. always like, we're so used to having managers interfere on the behalf of their heel clients.
Yeah.
In very specific and generally generic ways. I really like how with Zelina, it's a little bit of a tweak. She does the distracting and stuff, but rather than like hand her client a weapon, something like that, she just drops his opponent with a Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, I know.
I
It's
like
awesome.
it.
I know.
I
It's
like
great.
it.
Yeah.
She's not afraid to get involved herself.
I loved the spot towards the finish where she gets up on the apron and he's like, whoa. And then he's like, whatever. And he just launches over
because
her.
it happened early in the match.
Yeah.
Mustafa was going for a suicide dive. Zelina got in the apron, so he put out the brakes. But the second time, he's like, no, I'm just going to jump over
Oh,
you.
it's terrific.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
cool.
love that stuff. He's so good. They're both so good, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
They're both so good. Andrade and Ali. Terrific match.
Yeah, it was really good. Andrade went over the hammerlock DDT after the Rana spot. But I hope Mustafa, he stayed on SmackDown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully he gets a push there, man. Because he's something else. He's exceptional.
Wait, did he? Did he stayed on SmackDown?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Was he drafted later on in this episode?
Yeah.
I just lost all
Third
track.
round of picks.
Did Samoa Joe get drafted?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Raw.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. How long is he going to be up for, do you know?
I don't know. You're racking up points with him being on that draft panel, though, or you were.
I did pretty well last night.
Yeah, you did.
Because I have the War Raiders, don't I?
Uh-huh.
Nice. New tag team champions.
As far as I'm concerned, anytime someone has a microphone in their hand, they talk. That's 2 points.
Do I get yeah, I'm fine with that. Do I get extra points for them referencing Ring of Honor and IWGP?
No, they talk. They talk to the camera. That's just 2 points.
Kind of feel like that's extra points because they reference other companies' names.
Well, actually, only really referenced. Well, I guess they did reference
Well,
two
two.
directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know one directly, but the company's not IWGP. It's New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, come on. Splitting hairs, man.
No, I
It
know.
says IWGP on the title.
Yeah, I know. But that's a different organizing body.
I
In
understand
theory.
the logistics. I know.
Anyways, next round of picks were announced by Stephanie. First up, Raw takes Asuka and Kairi Sane. Mm-hmm. So they made the point of saying that the women's tag titles can still be defended elsewhere.
I know.
But should Asuka and Kairi drop those titles, they will stay on Raw.
Yeah, and it still doesn't make sense because on SmackDown they had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in different picks. USA, they should have made a story of USA not being prepared for any of this.
know.
That's what
I
the
know.
story should have been. They did not bring their own robot. They didn't even bring like a Crisley.
I mean, you get off base.
Crisley is very crafty. He could have been very helpful.
He would have found a way for them to get more picks.
Exactly. Maybe not legally.
But here's the thing with Cletus, the Fox NFL robot. You get lost, access the AI on there, back on track.
I know, exactly.
It makes total sense. Next, SmackDown takes Daniel Bryan. Next, Raw takes Rusev, Machka. And then SmackDown selects Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, to round out round two, Raw selects Alistair Black.
Dude, next week, let's get him in a story, man. Let's get him in a feud. Something good, something meaty.
I know.
This guy needs to get out of that room. Finally.
He wasn't in the room this week.
I know. Thank God.
Have you decided if you're going to pick up anybody?
Alistair Black.
Okay. Who are you going to drop?
That's a good question. But I do know I want Alistair Black. I will drop somebody, though. I will let you know. During Overrun today, I'll figure that out.
Okay.
Let's see here. After that, we had Michael Che and Colin Jost do their draft analysis from the Weekend Update.
Yeah, that was cool.
We got the Weekend Update stinger and everything.
Mm-hmm.
From the Weekend Update desk. And Michael Che, Colin Jost saying, he's basically Braun's best friend. Michael Che was spilling the beans about how much Colin Jost mocks Braun Strowman.
Yes.
Away from camera, which is pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
The great thing is there's no payoff for Braun here. He just has Colin Jost talking crap about him off camera.
It was pretty great.
So that's good stuff.
It was pretty great. After that, Raw Tag Team title match, War Raiders taking on Rudolph. Fun match. It's interesting that they have, in the last 2 weeks, Ray Rowe be the guy that gets beat up.
Hold on. Twinewinder here says if Crisley was crafty, he would have gotten away with it. Well, he did for a spell. For like a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
It all catches back to you.
It does.
Pay your taxes, people.
Yeah, pay your taxes. They have Ray Rowe being the guy that gets isolated with War Raiders as a face tag team, and Hanson being the one to get the hot tag.
Hoss tag. Apropos.
So, anyways, War Raiders are in control early. Hanson hits the suicide dive on Bob Roode, comes back in, top rope splash on Dolph. Bob Roode breaks up that pin, but then Rudolph takes control when Ray Rose going for a suplex on Bob Roode. Dolph chop blocks him. This spot was nasty. So Dolph and Ray Rowe are ringside.
Yeah.
And Dolph hits a zigzag on Rowe into the chairs in the timekeeper area.
Yeah.
Ow!
That looked like it hurt.
That looked like it hurt bad.
This was a terrific match, though.
It was good. So they start working over Ray Rowe. Eventually, Hanson gets the hot tag, clears the ring, tags Rowe back in. The Raiders go for that clothesline suplex thing where Hanson springboards off the second rope. Instead, Dolph kicks Hanson in the back or in the face, something like that. Rowe goes for that where he flips the person over for the knee. Bob Roode catches it. Rudolph hit their zigzag spinebuster combo. Dolph and Bob Roode actually developed a really good tag team chemistry.
I know.
And then Dolph hits a super kick on Ray Rowe. Roode hits glorious DDT on him. Hanson comes in to break the pin. And then Rowe pins Dolph after the Viking experience. Pop-up power slam.
Yeah.
War Raiders, new tag team champions.
Absolutely terrific.
It was good.
Absolutely terrific. I love when you hit that point of the match where you're like, oh, man, they're going to do this. Because there's always that one, when you see it's kind of the point of no return, it's like, oh, they're not going to do a long finish here. And they got it. It was really good. On the .com, the .com actually had, like YouTube and WWE's YouTube had like a ton of terrific interviews. Just really well shot and really well delivered, seemingly unscripted. With a lot of people who, were reacting to the draft or their matches or whatever. And Dolph and Bob Roode had it was like a 4-minute interview where they were both just on fire.
That's good.
And they sort of kayfabed it. So, like, during the interview, they find out that they were drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
And they're both pretty shocked, but they both want to. It was a very babyface thing. It was, and the interviewer asked, I think it was Sarah asked, are you guys going to go to SmackDown together or as singles competitors? And they both emphatically said that together, we're going to do this and we're going to show them what it's all about. It was really good.
That's cool.
I suggest people check it out.
That's cool. Next, we had, the NHL on NBC.
Oh, hold on a second.
Panel analyzing the draft.
Wade Love here said Crisley has been cleared of tax evasion in the state of Georgia.
Feds haven't cleared him.
He has 12 counts, including fraud counts against him. For the federal government.
Yeah.
So that's the bigger thing.
That's a whole other thing. So NHL and NBC crew analyzed the draft. They were talking about Seth Rollins' hair. Said he had hockey hair.
Yeah.
And that's what I gleaned from this whole segment.
Yeah. I didn't pay attention.
After that, War Raiders promo, they said they're the first undefeated team to win the IWGP, Ring of Honor, and NXT, and now Raw tag team titles.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
Those titles look good on them.
To the point.
Yeah.
After that, Stephanie announces more picks. First, Raw selects Cedric Alexander.
Solid pick.
SmackDown takes Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura.
Good pick.
And then Raw drafts Humberto Carrillo.
Oh, man. That's a top-notch pick right there.
That's a good pick, man.
Let's hope they use them.
I know. That's the huge if.
That goes.
SmackDown takes Mustafa Ali, and then Raw selects Eric Rowan. No
Yeah.
Luke Harper, though. Luke Harper's a free agent.
Well, he doesn't know how to do a Southern accent, so this
Yeah.
isn't terribly surprising.
Well, he just came back to partner with Rowan.
I know.
And then to maybe,
I know.
Again, he could be signed to break him up potentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Next, Alistair Black took on Eric Young. They got so used to Eric Young and the Sandy gear with the full beard and the short hair and the mohawk and stuff, and it's like
Sanity was so good.
What a missed opportunity that faction was.
Sanity was so good. Was that last week's match chat where he answered that question? Missed opportunities.
Strike when the iron was hot. Yeah.
Sanity, man, they were so.
There's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
I even feel like NXT didn't fully capitalize.
They
on
didn't.
What Sandy could have been.
No, they didn't. Eric Young could have been some sort of single star.
Yeah.
Feel like
they never really gave him an opportunity to grab the mic and really drop his manifesto.
Nope,
never really did. His commentary would say they like chaos, and that was the extent of it.
Yeah, they just sort of can't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe given how nutso they were. I mean, they really just came off as like tough guy squatters.
Yeah,
I know. Do you really?
But imagine if he grabbed the mic and dropped a really crazy promo that was barely coherent about.
If you're a real estate guy,
their philosophy,
and you show up and there's like a bunch of squatters there, do you really want to hear what he has to say?
I guess it would depend on the temperament of the squatter. If said squatter was antagonistic, probably not. You call the police when that. But if the person was like, all right, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be here, and is cool about it, then why not? It's like a conversation.
Hear the guy out. Why not? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to stick around there to make sure that person clears everything out and gets out of the place. So I'm sure
you don't want an awkward silence.
Yeah, you'd be there awkwardly for 30, 40 minutes, strike up a conversation. Anyways, Alistair Black destroyed Eric Young.
Yeah, he did. Made him tap out to that cool dragon
sleeper thing.
Yeah, that was neat.
Although I hope they don't replace that use as his finisher instead of Black Mass, because Black Mass is so cool. You can just do it out of nowhere.
It's amazing. I know, it's fantastic. He'll be a multifaceted wrestler.
I hope so. I hope he's like Walter and those guys that could win a match with a multitude of moves.
Somebody here in chat mentioned, again, I apologize, I just see it and then I forget who said it, said that they hope that Alistair Black is going to be the opponent, the mystery partner for Street Profits.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because that puts Alistair Black right into that
U.S.
United
title
States
scene.
Yeah, man.
That'd be cool.
Ooh, it'd be good.
Yeah, let's speculate. Let's assume it's not.
And then Alistair Black versus Samoa Joe. That'd be cool.
Let's assume it's not Alistair.
Yeah.
Who would make sense as their partner?
Oh, man.
Because who is AJ kind of in
Cedric Alexander.
Oh, yeah.
That makes all the sense.
Yeah,
that actually makes a ton of sense.
Which is why it won't happen.
Which is why it won't happen.
So I thought Ricochet, because he was way back in the U.S. title picture against AJ, unless they would.
Is he on? He's staying on Raw. He's staying on Raw.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Ricochet. That puts him in the U.S. title scene.
Yeah.
3 great names.
Yeah.
Now, which one are they actually going to choose?
Buddy Murphy. Because he was amongst the.
It's going to be like Rusev or something who cares?
I know. Steph makes some more picks. First, Raw takes Buddy Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
And then SmackDown selects Rudolph, Bob Roode, Dolph Ziggler.
Uh-huh.
And Raw takes Jinder Mahal.
I thought they weren't drafting people who were, injured.
Yeah.
Well, they drafted Samoa Joe. Yeah.
Well, he just has a broken thumb. I mean, Jinder's
got a great resume, though.
He does, but he's also recovering from a torn patella tendon.
If they're drafting based on resume, this is good. This is actually a steal right here.
I guess so.
Former WWE champion, former U.S. champion.
All right, fair point. Sorry.
Master of the Colossus.
Former 3-man band. Mm-hmm. Next, SmackDown takes Carmella. Great pick for SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, but then
Raw gets R-Truth.
Oh, they broke up the team, man.
Broke him up.
That's better for Carmella.
It is. I'm concerned that it doesn't bode well for R-Truth's continued reign as 24/7 champion.
Never bet against R-Truth.
Let me ask you this. So we've heard that the 24/7 stuff is going to be relegated more towards online social media.
All I saw was
YouTube.
one person in chat saying that.
All right. Well, let's use it as
Let's say it is. Okay.
So for our scoring system, it's based on what we see on television. That's what the assumption has been. Do we want to keep it that way?
I'm fine keeping it that way because I don't really care about the 24/7 title.
Then there's really no reason for me to carry R-Truth in my squad
TV,
anymore.
They'll probably recap it on TV.
On occasion, yeah.
But, yeah, you can get rid of it. Yeah.
All right.
That's probably
I'm going to pick up Andrade then, if you're taking Alistair.
Nobody picked up Andrade?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you decide who you're going to drop, and you can have Alistair Black, and I'm dropping R-Truth.
That's cool. All right.
And I'm picking up Andrade.
Mm-hmm. I'm good with that.
All right, very well. Next, Street Profits promo backstage. At first, they were kind of doing the hype thing where they were hyping up what match? Oh, the Tyson Fury Braun stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But then they pivoted right to, we're on Raw now. We want the smoke. They're interrupted by the OC, and they're kind of like condescendingly, hey, it's great to have you guys here. Welcome to the fam. Mm-hmm. And Street Profits were kind of put off by that. OC attacked him.
Yeah.
Beat him down.
Yeah.
And later on, Street Profits said, we want tag match. And then Angela's like, well, we'll be outnumbered if it's 3-on-2. We need a third guy. 6-man tag match, I would assume, next week.
Mm-hmm. I hope it is next week. I'm really anxious to see.
Odds are they're going to completely drop the ball and just forget about it.
The Raw crowd get into that.
Oh, man, I know.
I think Heyman is setting this up. I think he's got 16 weeks of programming laid out in advance.
I hope so.
And Vince's going to look at it and say, none of this is good. After that, we had Ricochet versus Shelton Benjamin. Solid match here. Ricochet dropped a promo in advance talking about how superheroes might be real because of what he can do.
That's kind of his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Superheroes do exist.
They do exist. And their names
and he had a really fun match with Shelton Benjamin. Finished Ricochet go to the top. Shelton meets him up there, kind of does like a hip toss off the top rope. Ricochet kind of lands on his feet, but the idea is that he landed on his feet. and hit a recoil for the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Was there a particular instance where there was a rough spot for a 630 and they asked Ricochet not to do it anymore? Because he hasn't been doing it for a while. Recoil's been his finish.
Oh, I wonder if he's just trying to preserve his
That's entirely possible,
body.
So that's 630. That's a rough landing.
No kidding.
For both parties.
There was, the last time I saw the 630, I thought it looked, there was something about it that looked ugly.
Yeah.
Not ugly the move, but like a landing that didn't look quite right.
Yeah.
So it
seems to be a lot of variables in play.
I'm cool with that. I love the recoil.
Yeah,
I think anything that comes out of nowhere.
I think those are better finishers. It makes for more exciting matches.
And he the height he can get when he jumps up to a person's it's great.
It's good. Next, Tyson Fury video package. Don't care. And then we have Lana in a spa getting a massage, a calf massage. And she's talking to the masseuse, and the masseuse is like, "Would you like me to go harder?" Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
harder. And then back to commercial, same question. Is this fine? Do you want me to go deeper? Yes, I want you to go deeper. So masseuse looks off screen and sees somebody. She walks off. In walks Lashley wearing only a towel.
Yeah, nice.
And then he assumes the masseuse duties. And so he's working her calves. And she turns around and sees this Bob Lashley. I love when Lashley just says, "This is fun." Not fun for Rusev, though.
Oh yeah, it's so stupid.
It is really silly. Yeah. And then
Lashley looked like he wanted to laugh all the time. That's one of the thing that Lacey said. Like when she started watching, she was like, he keeps on trying to like not to laugh. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I know "this is fun" seemed like a shoot.
Yeah,
he thinks it's ridiculous.
I know
it is ridiculous. Anyways, he tells Lana, or Lana says, "I'm going to turn over now." So he lifts up the towel, sneaks a look, and puts the towel back over.
Nice.
And then we had Jerry Lawler hosting this Braun Tyson Fury contract signing. So Braun essentially says, "Tyson, I'm going to hand you your first loss. You're going to get hands." And he puts hands on pen to contract. Signs
yeah,
it.
Tyson kind of came up. I felt kind of bad for Tyson because he was like, "Man, I was like a big fan of yours. I went to SmackDown to see you. My family really likes you.
Because my kids like seeing you do all these impressive feats of strength."
Yeah. He says, "But too bad, I'm going to knock you out." Then Braun smashes the table, and then Tyson tries to break a pen in half. So, yeah.
And then he does.
Yeah, it was funny.
He struggles with it at first, though.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
They're going to have some wonk finish for this, aren't they?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that Braun might get knocked out.
Man. What is with WWE just... Gosh.
I'm telling you, something we don't know about Braun. Something. I don't think they just do this. I think that if Braun did everything perfect backstage, all the stuff that we don't see, I think if he did everything perfect, he'd probably be top of the mountain.
But nonetheless, you have him in there and get knocked out by Tyson Fury. Done.
They'll bring him back, have him beat a bunch of people.
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, what more can they do? He's already not really a legitimate threat to anything. So what more can they really do to him?
He is. If he starts doing cool stuff, he starts destroying stuff. But then you have him get knocked out in a work match.
Yeah,
it's not a good look, man. That's why I think they're probably gonna do some sort of wonky finish. Then Al Roker and the other host of Sunday Today's Show. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, he's like a robot person.
Yeah,
it's weird. I've seen him before.
Al Roker's great though.
Yeah, I like Al Roker. He's good. He's timeless.
Anyways, they
whatever happened to that other guy? Remember the other guy?
Willard Scott?
Yeah, I think he died.
Might have. He used to always shout out people who turned 100 years old. Remember that?
Did he ever make it to 100?
I don't know. You should check.
I'm gonna look up
Willard Scott. Anyway, Steph comes out and makes more picks. First, Raw takes Samoa Joe. SmackDown selects The Miz. Miz just ping-pongs between brands every draft, man.
Yeah.
He's still alive?
Pretty much. Born, man, 85 years old.
He's
so
got
he
ways
needs
to go to get to
15
100.
more.
Man, he looked like he was in his 60s and 1980s, man.
Yeah, I know. He was our age back then?
Get out of here.
Well, I mean, think about it. In the
80s. That was 30 years ago. He's in his 50s. He's in mid-50s.
Oh, yeah, the 80s were 30 years ago. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, not 40. Whoa.
We're not there yet.
SmackDown gets The Miz. Raw selects Akira Tozawa. That's cool. So we got Ricochet and Akira Tozawa on the same brand.
Yeah, that's good.
Apollo Crews, unfortunately, is on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Get him over to Raw. Have him be a part of this blockbuster trade.
Yeah.
So we get Ricochet, Akira Tozawa, Apollo Crews. Once Impact goes out of business, bring Moose in.
Sign Moose.
Best faction in all wrestling. This was kind of surprising to me. SmackDown selects King Corbin. First, he made the move to SmackDown. Second, he was drafted so low.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
I picked
surprising.
him super high in our draft.
Yeah, I'm still not sure why he did that.
The problem is now he's on a 2-hour show.
Yep.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. And then Raw takes Shelton Benjamin after taking an L to Ricochet.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, he must have impressed USA executives.
I guess so, but man. Yeah, if you look who's... Yeah, dude, come on. How are you going to take Shelton Benjamin before Rey Mysterio?
I know.
I mean, they're on the same brand, but still.
I know.
The optics aren't good there.
No, it's weird.
Ray's great. Ray should have gone way higher.
Yeah, I know. But he's kind of just the manager for Cain Velasquez these days. I was
Only
surprised he
only
went to
because
Raw.
he's injured.
Yeah.
He probably, put in a bid for that. He's like, I don't want to deal with SmackDown. Brock is terrifying.
Yeah, it could be. I was kind of surprised. But I guess Kane said that once he faces Brock, he wants to go for the Universal title.
Oh, that's cool. Good for him.
Next, we got Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander. We've seen before. These two guys can deliver awesome matches. This was no different. Tons of fun. That suicide dive from Cedric. Man.
Yeah, dude, he's terrific.
They had some hell of momentum behind it.
Yeah.
Follows that with the flatliner. Gets a 2. Goes for a lumbar check. Buddy reverses it. Cedric tries again. Buddy reverses it. Goes to the top rope. Cedric kicks him. Goes up there like for a Spanish fly or something. Buddy escapes. He hits Cheeky Nando's. Cheeky Nando's. Can't talk today. Powerbomb gets a 2 and just gets up and hits Murphy's Law for the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fun match.
Yeah, good stuff.
Hopefully Buddy's going to be in the midst of a decent push. After that, more members of Team Hogan were announced. So Ricochet is on Team Hogan.
Yeah. And then Shinsuke Nakamura landed on...
And Bob Lashley is officially Team Flair.
Team Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Team Flair is Nakamura, Lashley, Orton, and Corbin. So I guess there's one more dude there.
One more person there.
And then Ricochet, Seth and Rusev are on Team Hogan.
Probably going to put Miz over there, too. I think Miz seems like a Team Hogan guy.
I don't know, man. He's done stuff with Flair before.
And Edge.
Yeah, Edge.
Yeah, maybe.
But Miz is in the midst of a face run that kind of has petered out, unfortunately. After that, Street Profits, they call up the OC. They want a match against them. 6-man tag match, hopefully next week. Then the NBC Premier League crew talks soccer chants versus wrestling chants. This really went nowhere.
Whoa.
What?
Nathan Cunningham says, y'all see Bischoff is out and Pritchard is in as SmackDown executive director?
No.
Really?
This just happened.
Did that just happen?
Maybe.
Holy moly.
I've been hearing that Bischoff hasn't really been doing much.
You take a look at that.
Yeah.
Stephanie then has her final round of picks. Raw takes the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio. SmackDown takes Shorty Gable. And, of course, they once again say he has taken possession of that name, Shorty Gable. He's empowered himself with it. Eric Bischoff reveals his favorite thing about AEW Dynamite. So.
Oh, yeah. Justin Barrasso on Twitter just said, WB announced it. Sean Ross Sapp has it, too.
What's the official statement? Please.
It's very small. WB names Bruce Pritchard executive director of SmackDown. Today, WB's announced that it's named Bruce Pritchard executive director of Friday Night SmackDown, reporting directly to Vince. Where does it say anything about Bischoff? It says replacing Eric Bischoff.
I'm back.
Pritchard will oversee the creative development of Friday Night SmackDown and Fox, ensure integration across all platforms and lines of business, replacing Eric Bischoff.
Well, that's cool. I love
wonder if both parties realized that was a bad fit, or
well, Bischoff hired a motorcycle rider. Sons of
writer,
Anarchy
not
guy.
rider.
Writer.
Almost like you said motorcycle rider.
I know. I realized that when I said it.
Writer.
There was a T intended there.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I think I like Bruce Pritchard. Seems like a reasonable guy. I think he also would probably. I wonder if he seems like also the type who would not really assert himself to Vince, though.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Well, isn't that what Cornette said? Is that he wasn't a yes man, he was an it man, and that he's not just approve of everything that Vince says. Is that he gets Vince, and so Vince is looking for it.
You know
Bruce
what, man?
more often than not knows what the it Vince wants is.
There were plenty of those episodes of SmackDown that Vince rewrote on the fly that were just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe Vince just does really well with 2-hour shows and not so well with 3-hour shows.
It could be.
I don't know. But that was fine. That's good. That's good. Bischoff kind of scared me.
You went through the last round of picks, yeah?
I was in the middle of it. Raw takes Titus O'Neil. SmackDown takes Elias. And Raw gets Liv Morgan.
Yeah. And then we go the WWE draft panel. Joe really likes that Buddy Murphy pick.
Yeah.
Smart man Joe is. Mm-hmm. Beth Phoenix likes King Corbin going to SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then this is when Booker says there's going to be potentially a huge blockbuster trade. Been hearing rumors announced on WWE Backstage premiere of it. That's tonight.
CM Punk announces that Kevin Owens is headed to.
Maybe that's a blockbuster trade. CM
Punk, yeah.
From unemployment to
backstage.
Yeah. Next tag match: Kairi Sane and Asuka taking on Natalya and Lacey Evans. I don't believe the titles are on the line in this match. Kairi and Asuka's character work now they're heels is fantastic.
It's terrific.
God,
I love
so much fun.
That pin attempt with Kairi Sane when
she's just doing the
pirate
pose.
thing.
Doing the. It was good.
And then when she kicks out, she just stands up out of it.
Oh, it was so fun.
They're both so terrific. And Asuka being so nonchalant about like kneeing somebody in the face multiple times.
Oh, I love that.
It's terrific.
Those little Kawada kicks she was doing. Just kicking someone in the face.
Somebody just
kneeing them in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Just looking around.
It's all
great.
It's all no look also.
It's great.
Yeah, she's terrific. And she comes out already with like the green
It reminds me, I tell you got to watch the match. Nakamura versus Kota Ibushi, Wrestle Kingdom 9. There's a lot of that stuff.
I know I got to watch it.
Where
I got to
Kota
make time.
Ibushi's against the ropes and Nakamura's looking at the crowd and just kicking Kota Ibushi in the face.
That's terrific.
It's so good.
I got to check that out. The press conference for Wrestle Kingdom was last night.
Yeah, I know. They're really doing. You see, Okada said he's willing to main event both shows.
That's got to happen.
He's going to end that night with both those belts too.
That's got to happen. That's going to be good stuff.
Assuming Jay White retains at day one, if they do Okada versus Jay White, both belts on the line. Okada has all the titles.
All the titles.
Put that never openweight title on him too. Why not?
Why not? Have him drop
lose
down
a few
to
pounds.
224 junior.
Yep.
Sure.
I'm sure Ospreay will drop that belt to Okada. Put all the belts
So Natalya comes out and she's like, I found myself a partner.
There's only one woman that I trust to have my back because I've been in battles with this person. Here she is.
I just power bombed her off the stage last week.
Yeah, it make a whole lot of
I
sense.
was okay. I was totally cool. I actually kind of popped for this. I know a lot of people are like, this doesn't make any sense. I just fought. To me, and I know it was a different situation
It's
in
the
story.
Cesaro Sheamus thing.
I liked, yeah.
But at least we had that one scene where they're in the pub and we're talking and then they got
I
a
know.
bar fight
I
together.
know. I know. We didn't get the exposition.
It's just that sometimes
they're gonna
those
leave that
little story
You're right.
beats that helps connect the dots and make these things seem more believable.
Let's write a sample script for a Boom Studios comic book. And,
All right, where they go to the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is a different. They're not going to. Natalia and Lacey Evans aren't going to go to the pub.
Tea party.
Tea party.
They go out for tea because
Yeah.
Lacey Evans, she's done the tea stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Natalia
in a
likes
backstage thing.
cats. Maybe they go to a pet store.
Or there's those
Kennel.
cat coffee shops where you can go and get coffee and pet cats.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, man.
Seems like there'd be a lot of hair around.
I know.
I'm not really into that. Cats kind of bug, anyways.
I'm not a huge cat person. No.
I've liked one cat in my life.
Anyways, this is a fun match. For the finish saw Lacey goes to the top. Asuka distracts her, so Kairi pulls her off, hits a double stomp. She goes to the pin, and it's before the ref could even get down to count. Natalya breaks it up. Kairi hits her corner forearm. She goes to the top. Troy goes for her inside elbow. Nope. Lacey gets out of the way. Kairi jumps off the top. Lacey hits her with the woman's right, but Asuka had tagged herself in when Kairi went to the top for the inside elbow. So she gets up. She gets in there, rolls up Lacey Evans for the win.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
After that, we had the Firefly Funhouse. Rambling Rabbits telling Bray Seth is on his way.
Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff's about to happen. And Bray's like, nah, everything's safe.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah. Seth comes out of nowhere, attacks Bray. Starts taking all the pictures.
Except for Finn. He leaves Finn's up there.
Yeah, well, they needed one good visual for the fire.
I guess so.
But
So
yeah.
he starts taking pictures of the wall.
And then Seth, Finn hit him up on Twitter.
Said, why can you take my picture off the wall?
Why did you take my picture off?
Bray gets up. And this is my favorite part of the whole thing. Is like, why are you doing this to me,
I know.
Seth?
It was good.
That was the best part of the whole
It
thing.
was. It totally was.
And then Seth tosses him through the wall and then sets the whole thing on fire.
Mm-hmm.
After, not before turning the camera, says, I'm going to burn it down.
And a cheesy close-up,
Awful.
too. I'm going to burn it. Don't say your catchphrase, dude. Come on. Be better than that. Be complex.
That's his direction, man.
Show layers. Show depth.
He didn't need to say anything.
You're not a T-shirt, Seth.
He didn't need to say anything. He just should have set it on fire. I mean, like we all know, his catchphrase is "burn it down." Doesn't need to say
he
it.
Whispered it. What if he said it backwards?
Down it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Down it burns.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's good. But backwards.
Yeah. Sure, why not? Anyways, it was kind of hokey.
And then he burned it. He
then he lit it on fire and it
lit
burned
it on
to
fire.
the
He
ground.
turned his back to the camera and I don't know what he had, a lighter or something.
Yeah, the Scripto lighter.
Yeah. They lit on fire, and then it just burns down, and then we get the trademark bug.
Yeah, that was it.
So,
well, then you hear Bray laughing maniacally in the background.
Oh, yeah. So, like, and that was one of the things, too, was when he was trashing everything, you hear the puppet saying, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. This
Yeah.
is hard to watch.
So one of the thing now is, like, Seth has just permanently unlocked the Fiend, and we're not going to see Firefly Funhouse Bray again.
Well, they don't plan in advance, so that seems to be the case. But they will totally bring back Firefly Funhouse at some point.
If it's convenient for a week.
If it is going to result in a single pop,
I guess so.
they'll do that. But no, I mean the general idea he's unlocked the Fiend permanently. It's just God, man. If it's just a clean, what do we say before? A boring face Randy Orton victory over Bray was the worst possible situation. Larson, what is the worst possible situation here?
Boring Seth face win.
In a last man standing match.
False count anywhere.
Bray needs
False
to,
count anywhere, not last man standing.
I'm sorry, false count anywhere.
Because at least the last man standing, Bray could lose and not take a pin. But false count anywhere, that means someone has to eat a pin.
Yeah. Yeah. The only conceivable way, and this is goofy as hell, is if Seth didn't pin the Fiend, somehow he pinned Firefly Bray. If Firefly Bray somehow found some way to exist outside the Funhouse, and he ate the pin because he's the weak Bray.
Yeah, could be.
He's the forgiving Bray.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens.
And then you find some sort of hossy-looking dude who looks kind of like Bray, and you put him in the Fiend outfit, and then you also have Bray there, kind of a mind trip. Yeah.
Yeah, see if that happens.
They're not going to, but it's Crown Jewel, which I don't even know what that means. It's like...
Yeah.
What, like, I mean, they do, have they done a definitive, has there been a Universal title change or a WWE title change at a Saudi event?
Mm-mm.
No. I don't know.
That's where he had the Roman Brock cage match where Roman obviously won first, but put his feet on the ground first. Anyways, answer some questions. Minion TM69, after the last few Raw episodes involving Lashley and Lana, the name going in Raw really takes, actually forget it, he says.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can assume that they have safe sex, but who knows?
Quote the Raven 79, roll-up seems to be the weakness of royalty in WWE. Oh, because Queen Charlotte Flair got rolled up too.
Mm-hmm. Cody Miles, theory about why Seth was able to access the Funhouse. Only the Fiend is allowed in, and since Seth went to his darkest place and used the sledgehammer, he has the Fiend inside since he effectively let him in. You should write that as a Boom Studios comic.
Yeah,
Cody Miles.
it'd be interesting if they
That's
actually
good
explored something like that on Raw. Quote the Raven, maybe it's me, but it seems WWE took Brazzers on their offer for the Lana and Lashley storyline. However, the acting is better on Brazzers.
Well, it depends on what the video is on Brazzers. Sometimes they're very authentic.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Dark Leon says Cesaro to AEW. That'd be cool. He is a free agent after all, so
yeah, right. I know, yeah. Predictions champ Dominus. How do you determine the best tag team in the world through a gauntlet match?
Withstands the gauntlet.
Well, yeah, but it's inherently it's an unfair match.
Nick C, not if the team that was in there first runs the whole gauntlet.
Then they're definitely the best. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, that's a good way to...
Nick C, Raw and SmackDown have been underwhelming since premiere week. Coincidence? I don't know, but in these strange times, you guys keep me optimistic. Much love.
Is that like messed up that we do that? Is it messed up that we stay positive for the most part?
I don't know.
Because like we're giving people false hope?
Could be.
We just come up with like cool scenarios like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they do this? And they never do it.
Could be.
Maybe we're the bad guys.
Maybe we are.
Butts says, odd Seth gets replaced during the Crown Jewel tag match for a surprise entrant. That could be. Maybe that's how they're going to use Edge.
Could be.
You think you know me.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hogan's like, sorry, brother. People are booing you. Nobody boos Team Hogan.
Yeah.
You're off the team.
Yeah, it could be.
And this guy's coming in. Ledge.
Verge.
Verge.
Project CMR. For someone who has never really built as a tag team guy, Dolph sure has been a great tag wrestler in his later career.
Oh, boy. Man, no kidding. I really like this team. Rudolph is cool.
He and Big E challenged Team Hell No for the tag titles at WrestleMania a few years back.
Yeah.
So while he isn't exactly noted as a tag team wrestler, don't forget he's a member of the Spirit Squad too.
That's true, yeah.
Dark Leon again. Braun gets knocked out and lands in AEW. Probably not. He just signed a new deal too.
Alex C. Did you see apparently Heyman got all the people he wanted? Does that make you hopeful for Raw making new stars? I am willing to give, if Paul Heyman has sort of a clean slate here because of this draft, and we saw the people he wanted allegedly, he got them. So far, he didn't get the Fiend, but
yeah, that's the
blockbuster trade.
Could be.
Is it the fact that we're really open for it mean it's not going to happen?
Oh,
though?
yeah.
Dang it.
But now that we realize that it's not going to happen, maybe that changes the math.
We're like Corbin.
Yeah. Locaine, Big Show lost to Floyd and became World Heavyweight Champion after that. That's probably when the World Heavyweight Championship really didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I think so.
It was basically a mid-card title at that point. Villalobos, Bray's next gimmick should be named Asbestos.
There you go. That's good. That's a cool name, actually.
Kyle Mushigan, Seth, and Randy equal Arsonists.
Yeah, right? Greg Morris, where do the Usos go? NXT, man. NXT.
Yeah, it was interesting they didn't get drafted, but I guess there's... who got hurt? Was it Jimmy or Jay who got hurt?
I forget.
I forgot, too. They should be back soon, I think.
The new businessman, Maddie. I cried after I learned Carmella and R-Truth got split up.
Wow.
But I am happy now for Carmella. Hopefully good things come upon her.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, Carmella's great.
At that point, everybody was, during the podcast, everybody started breaking the Bischoff news. Let's see here. Alex C. says, should Funhouse return next week like an inescapable purgatory for Seth, tormenting him with its existence?
See, again, that'd be interesting.
It'd
Not
be
going to
cool
happen.
if they did stuff like that.
Not going to happen, though. Not going to happen, unfortunately.
Now you can't escape the Funhouse, Seth. How am I going to have a match? Yeah, how is he going to have a match? Everybody starts crapping on Paul Heyman's ideas. Let's go to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Answer some questions over there.
Certainly.
I'm stuck on this Willard Scott page. Posts. Probably should have had this loaded up sooner.
Yeah, no. Same.
Rock you.
There we go.
Let's see here. Okay. Alex Foster. Is it bad that I want to see Bray sue Seth Rollins? Maybe in a weird Funhouse-esque segment with a cameo from IRS.
That'd be
Again, that'd be pretty cool.
30-time European champ Dwayne Nix. So what is the point of the draft if pretty much everybody is staying on their respective brands?
Pop ratings, short-term pop.
Yeah, no, it's just a pop.
Big, strong boy. With both draft episodes being wet turds, what would you guys change about the presentation of this year's draft? I don't know. It was different. I kind of like the Stephanie being the Goodell thing. I wouldn't want it again. I'd want, more. I kind of like the back when Heyman and Bischoff did it way back in the day. I like that aspect to it. But maybe we're past that. They're trying to be a bit more
my perception of it is kind of ruined by the fact that they leaked the draft order in advance of SmackDown. Yeah,
but presentation-wise.
It's a worked. It's not like a real draft. It's a worked thing. So presentation, I don't know. It's kind of immaterial to me. Well, the fun of watching the draft is the inherent drama because they do these little vignettes of these athletes making the leap from college to pro sports. Get a sense of their background, their history, and it's a dream come true for a lot of these people, and that's the drama of watching the draft. Mm-hmm. That's non-existent in WWE.
I want to see they need to bring back the draftee room where everybody in the WWE is sitting back there and they all get selected. And then the camera zooms in on their reaction.
Yes, then there'd be some storylines involving actually who was drafted where.
There was also like
the story of the draft.
Yeah,
right now, it's like a formality. They might as well just announce them on Twitter.
How do they do it? Did they show any like reactions?
Not on Raw or SmackDown, no.
No, I'm not talking about this
sorry.
year. I'm talking about back in 2016. I'm trying to remember when. Yeah, I don't know. Were they all on the stage when they announced like the first batch of?
They might have been.
Like what was when everybody parted for Seth?
That was later.
That was later,
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget how they did it back in 2016. I was okay with this one. Let's see here.
Gary MacArthur, my question is, why do I keep watching this when I could be sleeping? Also, where is Bray the Fiend's Wyatt Funhouse located if it's just a set and not a spooky other dimension?
Because I think at the end of the day, like we all know, even in kayfabe, these are all just guys. These are all just people. Like, I mean, I don't know if they're assuming that Firefly Funhouse is some other dimension. That's just sort of that's sort of beyond for me. That's a bit cheesy.
Adrian C., what was the deal with Corbin getting drafted after Jinder, Tozawa, and Truth? Is this going to excuse me? Is this going to lead into a falling draft stock storyline, or was this just WWE being WWE and we don't revisit or mention it at all and made no sense? Yeah, he just won King of the Ring. He should be a high draft pick.
You know what? No,
kayfabe.
no. Honestly, it's who wants to deal with him.
Yeah, but then that
it's
needs
like
to be
at
addressed.
a certain point. I can totally see that one.
That needs to be addressed.
It's like
then.
he's like, yeah, nobody wants to deal with this guy, but it's like at the end of the day, he does win matches, so it's like, well, I'm not going to draft him high because that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But when you go that low, it's like, all right, fine, I'll just take him.
Greg Morris, since Vince has an infatuation with fire and burning things, come up with your own explanation as to why he likes fire.
I don't know. When he was a kid, he used to have a fun time like lighting animals on fire.
Well, I was going to go that far.
Yeah. What were you going to have him light on fire back in the day?
I remember once when...
his father used to burn him.
Jeez.
What cigars?
One time in my teenage years, a group of us got together and we tried to set bologna on fire.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, like boys, like they like to light firecrackers and stuff.
Yeah. Also psychopaths.
Well, that too, but I'm saying, I mean, if you just set a firecracker on fire and put it in the ground as opposed to on an animal, that's the difference between psychopath and...
That is definitely a line right there.
Yeah, so yeah. I'm saying, I just think, I don't know. I feel like guys and like late teenage boys at a certain point, it's like, oh, fire, here, let's just light stuff on fire.
Fire's pretty cool.
Because it seems fun. He's never grown past that phase in his life. See,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Vince. He hasn't grown past a lot.
Because he still loves snow cones.
And he thinks farts are the funniest thing ever.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, he seems like a man-child.
Yes, correct.
And the fire is part of that.
And he has a weird aversion rather to sneezing as well.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's a control thing, I think.
Yeah, it's all related, man.
He's an interesting fella.
It's all
anyway. I think at his heart, he's a man-child, and you know, a lot of guys at a certain age just like, oh, I'm gonna just set random things on. See if I can set random things on fire like a piece of bologna.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna spray hairspray. Oh, do you ever do this? Pour Bacardi 151 in your hand and light that on fire. Do you ever do that?
I've lit my finger on fire with something else. I forget what it was. Because you can do that.
Because here's the thing. There's a fascination to see if you could find the most interesting and enjoyable way of safely lighting things on fire.
Yeah, yeah. Because fire is cool.
Yeah. Or even just doing something where you light a candle, you just put your finger through it real fast without burning yourself.
Oh, I put out candles,
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
James Fletcher just received the 5th anniversary shirt. Very, very happy, you guys. Quick delivery to the UK. You guys are awesome. Also, my dog loves it because he told me. Okay, then that ends up getting into sociopath when you can hear dogs talk to you or something.
Well, it could be schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. That's what that is. Yeah. Sociopath is when you don't care about people.
That was the son of Sam thing.
Yes.
He heard voice and he thought his dog was talking. Peyton Paul is a new member. Welcome.
Welcome, Peyton.
Carlos Davalo says it's because he almost died in a limo fire.
Yeah.
People are so concerned.
Yeah.
Including our president, that they called to make sure he was fine.
Lord Ziffer, who wins a main roster singles title on Raw first? Alistair Black or Buddy Murphy?
Alistair.
I think Alistair, yeah. Because all things being equal, I think he got drafted higher for one thing. Blake Esta, y'all are in the minority following Hell in a Cell with the decisions made, and admittedly made a lot of good points. Not sure your thoughts on last night's decisions continuing the feud and potentially the end of Firefly Funhouse, but with hindsight, have your feelings about Hell in a Cell changed at all? No, I'm steadfast on that one. I actually really liked it, and I think that I thought it made a lot of sense.
It made sense, and I thought it was interesting. Here's I won't necessarily change in my feelings about how Hell in a Cell played out. However, the story beats they had at Hell in a Cell I thought were interesting. I thought it was fun. I thought it was better than what we had heard was originally planned.
Yeah.
That being said, if this story fizzles out or it ends in boring face Seth Rollins, it's going to seem like a complete and utter waste that they even bothered with it. So, my feelings about how it happened, I don't necessarily think I'll deviate from. But in the context of a larger story, it's like, why bother? It's just more the same with Bray.
I know. I mean, that's it's just obvious that you have to. I mean, it's sad that you have to sort of view a lot of stuff in a nutshell these days, like in a vacuum. I know, man, it's hilarious. Because they just do things for the single pop.
I know,
but it is what it is.
Yep.
But no, I'm fine with it. I'm still fine with it. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, that's it for the show. We have an overrun coming up in a little bit. I think I'm going to eat first, so probably.
I don't have any food, so I'll have to wait until afterwards to eat.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, I know. Have a couple more last super chats. Hellbent. Bray may not yet be buried, but WWE's creative is. And then Denton Watkins says, will anybody hold out and not want to sign with the brand that drafted him? That would be interesting.
That'd be a good story.
Yep.
That'd be a good story.
Kevin Owens will do that. So I want to sign with Raw.
That'd be good, yeah.
I just got Shane fired on SmackDown. I'm going to be on SmackDown.
I'll be back there. So you said Backstage airs tonight after...
after the ALCS.
Cool.
Yep.
Blockbuster trade.
Hopefully.
On the way. Thanks, everybody, for this. Going to be like Jinder Mahal for, I don't know, Chad Gable.
Something like that, I know.
Anyways, thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.